Are we live? I didn't hear the intro.
We are live.
Well, good morning, good morning, good
Hey.
morning, everybody. We're still trying to figure out the remote broadcasting, but we're good. Welcome to another edition of the Antidote.
Whoop,
I
whoop.
I am your host, Dr. Scott, also known as Doc Scott, and our co-host is.
King Troy, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up?
So, we're going to get right into the show today. We want to also let you know that our show is brought to you today by Scottish Couture. Scottish Couture will has released some new some articles of clothing. The Trust No One hoodie and T-shirt is now available at Scottish Couture LV on Instagram. And also, if you are getting ready for a special occasion and you would like a customized brim to accompany an outfit that you have, you can also check us out on Scottish Couture LV on Instagram. So, King Troy, how was your week this week, sir?
My week was pretty golden. You know, like I said last week, coming off of my Southern tour, as I like to call it, and into back into normal life. It was that transition, and then that week, Lord Jesus, but He kept me. Um, And this week was better, much better. So, it is onward and upward from here.
I think that's
Yes.
awesome. For those of you
How
who
was
don't, well, last week we had a long weekend and we celebrated Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday. And you and I had the privilege of being in the Martin Luther King parade here in Las Vegas, which is the largest parade for MLK weekend on the West Coast. Um, every fraternity, sorority, civic group, um, churches, some of our schools participated. The community really came out, um, and they actually, I saw a lot of people with masks on and different things like that. So people are look like they're taking heed to being safe during this third um, round of the pandemic, and we just want to send peace and blessings out to families out there that are struggling with this pandemic because there's a lot of sickness that's in the world right now because of the pandemic. Also, check on your strong ones. Mental health is real. If you have friends or family that that have struggles and coping skill issues, struggling with addictions or mental health, please check on your strong ones. I got a bad phone call yesterday morning, and I'm still processing it. But I do know that God makes no mistakes, and sometimes He has to move on the behalf of individuals to protect other family members. So I'd like to send love and peace out to our station owner, the Jordan family. Um, they've had bouts with COVID and also um, experienced the loss of a really, really good brother that they're going to be memorializing, and that's Eric Jordan, a gentleman who, out of high school, was awarded several different opportunities, had the privilege of working for and with Harry Reid in Washington. He broke the barrier for a lot of the aides going into Washington and put Nevada on a stage all of its own and showed a lot of the African American brothers here that they can make it and that they can have an esteemed job such as he did. So praying for the family of Eric Jordan, praying for the family of Bryant Roden, which is my family. He has passed on. He's no longer with us as well. So just check on your strong ones. It's very, very important. And these are people who I grew up with, and so it kind of hits close to home. So, and just be kind to one another. Every week that I have the broadcast, I always give an additional antidote. And I just say as we sign off, be kind to each other and be good to yourselves. When I say be kind to each other, what I mean by that is, pour into someone. You know what I'm saying? Give a word of encouragement. When I say be good to yourself, that means take care of yourself. Because if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of somebody else. So just wanted to put that out in the atmosphere, some good vibes to let those families know that we are praying for them. Do you have any prayers that you want to send out? I almost said Pastor Troy. Ah, that may have been pathetic. Uh, Troy. I mean,
Um,
it keeps surfacing. We don't know. We don't know.
you're funny. Um, just to my family. Um, last year alone, we lost. Actually, let me back up. 2020, we lost three um three individuals, one being my father and two being his siblings. Last year, we lost three of my cousins.
Mhm.
Um, and it seems like, God is God is taking people. And, you know, we all know we're only here for an appointed time. And once our work is done here, it's time to move on upstairs. If you know 'em. And, like I told you last night, you know, um, yeah. So just keep my family lifted up in prayer.
Mhm.
We're dealing with the process of losing someone, and although they are still here,
Mhm.
it's still a process, and yeah, death is all
Yeah,
around us.
it is.
But I I can't speak for nobody else, but I have a risen savior.
I also want to give condolences to the ladies of Delta Sigma Theta. I believe they lost their president.
Hmm.
I don't know if it was COVID related or what, but I believe it shed shockwaves through the Divine Nine. Let me tell y'all something. Death is real. And I don't know who I was talking to. Um, I don't care if there's a person that's suffering or whatever the situation may be, but when death knocks at your door, that's a tough pill to swallow. I don't care how big the glass of water is. It's a tough pill to swallow. People, can say, I was prepared for it, but you really are not, because even in the midst of you, taking care of a loved one and being there for a loved one, you're operating within the mindset of we're or I'm doing what I have to do to make sure that they're here and they're comfortable, and that when they pass on, it kind of snaps you back for a minute. You know what I'm saying? And so, there's a lot of people out there that are grieving because, you know, I know a number of families that are just grieving because just the sickness with COVID alone, but people are losing matriarchs, patriarchs, pillars in the community are disappearing. And, I apologize. I live over by the Air Force Base, so can you guys hear the planes? But just want to keep the ladies of Delta Sigma Theta in prayer because they did lose their national
The
president.
national president and chair of the national board of directors,
There you go.
Miss
Thank you.
Cheryl A. Hickman.
Thank you. Yes. So we're remembering them also on this morning. So
And then also as well, um, Miss Regina King, the actress, extraordinary actress, director,
she
all
died.
of the above. No, she lost her
Oh,
26-year-old son.
she what?
She lost her 26-year-old son.
Wow. I wasn't aware of that. I wasn't aware of that. I wasn't aware of that. Well, yeah, definitely keep her in prayer. Brenda, keep Brenda in prayer. Yes, Lord.
And his name was Ian Alexander Jr. And he's quoted as being such a bright light who cares so deeply about the happiness of others.
Mm.
And he was with his mom along her journey. You know, he attended red carpet events with her. He was always around her, and I believe that was her only son.
Wow. And folks, let's just get better. I don't think we always have to really mention why a person has passed on, and nothing is worse than getting a phone call and you're like, "What? Well, how they die? Who cares?" Families don't want to hear that at that moment. They don't want to hear that. They may not want to discuss it. So just kind of, be a little bit considerate. Offer your condolences and wait for the information to come out. Wait till the family is ready to release information. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So shout out to all of those families. I did a post yesterday on Facebook where I just said our God is sovereign, and I petitioned God to just heal the land because the sickness and diseases, it's a lot. So we're keeping those families in prayer, and we want to talk about some of the great things that are going on in the community. I want to first start off with I did mention the parade. We do not know who the winners of the parade were just yet, but we will be finding out shortly, hopefully. We also had several other events that are going around town. We have the scholarship banquet that the MLK committee puts on. I don't know how much money they raised or how many scholarships they'll be giving out this year, but congratulations to them for during the pandemic bringing it back. We missed 2 years of it, but they brought it back. No, we missed 1 year, but they brought it back this year, so they were able to actually do it. So shout out to the MLK committee for a job well done with both the parade and also the banquet. We got a couple of things that are coming up in the community. We have a huge Three Kings birthday party that's going to be taking place on, is today the 20, what's today? The 23rd. That's tomorrow. Hmm. I can't keep up. I mean, this year's going by so fast. We're already on the 22nd. Tomorrow's the 23rd. There is a Three Kings birthday celebration that's going on for Jamel Banks, Ruben De Silva, and Darren Nixon over at the Echelon Event Center. I believe that is tomorrow. So I believe you can go on Eventbrite and get your tickets for that. Proceeds to benefit Robert Twix Taylor for mayor. And speaking of him, we're going to be having him on the show pretty soon to talk about a couple of things. With February coming up, we're going to be recognizing some of the extraordinary people in the Las Vegas community who have made impressions in Las Vegas in Black history. So be ready to actually to check that out because we do have some people that have been doing some dynamic things in our community, and we're going to be recognizing them here on the Antidote. Hopefully, getting them to call in and talk to the people. I met two young businessmans, two young businessmen. That was a Freudian slip. Look,
Hold on, hold on.
let me.
I ain't
Oh
got tea
boy,
this
oh boy,
morning, but
oh
I got
boy. As,
orange
as,
juice.
the- as the
I got
church mother would
orange
say,
juice.
oh my, my, my. But we do have some individuals. Ooh, I can't even finish that. So next, but we do have some individuals that out there are doing some extraordinary things, and we're gonna make sure that we pay homage and recognize them. Definitely, definitely. So, talk to me, King Troy. What's going on in entertainment?
So Nick Cannon, he has a talk show. It's basically like a men's space type situation. And in one of his recent shows, he talked about basically insecurities with body image. And so it was funny because he had some other guests on there, but he was saying that being a skinny guy, when it comes to getting it on in the bedroom, he has to have like clothing on, some type of clothing on, because he feels insecure with his body. And
Shit,
so
I be letting it all hang out. You gonna get a full dose of this big boy love. What
I'm
they say,
dead.
lift the stomach up and put it on your booty. Bam.
I'm dead. I'm dead. Um, but it was interesting to me because you know entertainers or celebrities. I've never been one to get shy around celebrities. Like you, a person just like me. Only thing is, you got a little bit more. You may have a little bit more fame than me. You may have a little bit more coin than me. That's it. But
Mhm.
I don't get starstruck. But it was interesting to find out or to learn that I guess you know all them basically being having panties thrown at them. They struggle with body issues.
Hmm.
I never would have thought that because I mean, essentially, you can have your pick of the litter. Um, and I do know that you know they struggle. Celebrities struggle with the same type of things we struggle with.
Mhm.
So it's not necessarily uncommon,
Right.
but I just wouldn't have expected it, especially Nick Cannon with his seven children. You messed around here and had seven children, and you talking about you suffer with body issues, but
Um, I think it's fair to say I'm a fan of Nick Cannon, but over the last couple of years, I've identified his elevator don't get out the basement. No, it
whew,
don't for real. And I'm not dogging him. I'm just saying. Nick does a lot of questionable shit, and that's why I don't understand why him and Mariah didn't make it because they both crazier than road lizards. You know what I'm saying? She has self-esteem issues also.
but can two crazy people really be in a sustainable relationship?
Well, let's see here. Let's just go right on down the list.
We got time today.
Where do you want to start? Let's start with Creflo and Taffy Dollar. I'm not
Whew.
froze.
Did did just for kicks and giggles? Did they ever get their jet?
I believe they had a jet, but they wanted to upgrade. They had a used jet. He wanted a new jet.
Did they ever get it?
I don't know. I don't know, but I do know that there is fire in the camp as of lately, and they're saying that uh, Taffy's going to be a blessed woman. You know what I'm saying? But
Hmm.
two people clearly crazier than road lizards. You know, Creflo, he was cool when he first came onto the scene. Money went to his head. Taffy, she had her own ministry that was going on. Then she got crazy too. You know what I'm saying? Will and Jada Pinkett Smith. You know, I don't know what the hell is going on with them. I think it was something that came out recently that she admitted to cheating on Will. But it was it was at a point in time when they were discussing separation. So I guess you wanted a passport to be a whole asshole. I guess that's what it was. But aren't they into Scientology, or is it the are they into Scientology? Okay.
I know at one point they were. I don't know if they still are or are not.
And I mean, not to knock anybody's religion or anything like that, but I mean, it's like, ooh,
I,
yeah. Go ahead.
there's only one.
There is, there is, there is. And over the years, the Methodists and different or Christian organizations, or not Christian organizations, different religions have deemed themselves to be the more dignified religion. And I don't discuss religion because I believe religion is personal to each individual. But like you said, there's only one, and you ask yourself, if you were never really brought up like that and you somehow have looked to find your own way, why do you go to the extreme left? Um, do you do it for notoriety? Do you do it because there's a dollar involved to enhance or boost up the organization itself? You know what I'm saying? So I have no idea. I have no idea. But I do believe crazy people, um, they attract each other. Unless you're me, and then I just, well, I guess I am kind of crazy because I attract. Oof, I attract old women. I attract
Trying to
young
get their
people,
social security checks.
and I will. I mean, if you coming for me, I'm gonna give you what you came for. But you got to have a credit score of 800, a Social Security, and a pension. You got to have both. You can't have one without the other. Simple as that.
You trying to get their social security.
For real, for real. But no, seriously. Um, to operate in an environment that's toxic like that, some people cannot operate if they're not involved in mess. We were
Hmm.
talking about that 2 nights ago. That some people actually just they thrive off of drama. It has to be drama in their life, and they just thrive off of it.
I'm glad you opened that door.
Oh Lord, here we go.
And let hold on. Let me walk through it. So let me be diplomatic in my statement. Um, so how do you feel about flighty people being flighty people, not taking a stance, but going with the wind and flip flopping, backing people up, and not really holding their own thoughts or beliefs. But you say this, so I'm gonna go with you. But then you say this, so I'm gonna go with you.
Oh, so you're talking about our politicians?
You can say that.
Hmm. Um, I think it's the nature of the beast. Last show we talked about the 3 C's that you encounter: comrades, constituents, and confidants. Okay.
Hmm.
Most of the people that you will encounter are going to be comrades and constituents. People who are going to be either riding with you when it's good, or be involved with you because they benefit something from it. Okay. And
Yeah.
the cloud chasers are real. Cloud chasers are real. People who don't have the fortitude to stand on their own. You know what I'm saying? So I guess I don't really, I don't really, I don't really, I don't per se have problems with people like that, because in my mind, they kind of have already showed you their hand. They've already kind of
Hmm.
showed you where they're aligned or what their intentions or motives are. And as I get older, what I have identified is that nobody is theoretically going to be involved with you unless there's some type of a benefit, because you do have givers and you do have takers in life. I've always had takers around me, and I'm learning, or I have learned, to be more reserved on what I share with people,
Mm-hmm.
commonalities and different things like that, because once you let a person in, a lot of times they will take what they know about you and they will turn it against you.
Mm.
So I've learned to be more reserved and more laid back, to where I don't necessarily want to share as much anymore, because people are only going to show you what they want you to know about them, and it's not what they tell you, it's what they don't tell you. But one thing, like Maya Angelou said, when folks show you who they are, believe them. And that's
Mm-hmm.
true. you know I've always been leery of people who say, I really didn't mean that, I was just upset at the time. Okay, you were upset at the time, but that those emotions that you dispelled were real. They came from someplace. They didn't just come up because you were mad. Those
Mm-hmm.
things lie dormant until somebody pisses you off, and then you strike. you know so I get it, but I don't get it. But I think we will always have people in our orbit that are like that. The question is, you have to come to a conclusion where you manage them and they don't manage you. That's the big test right there. You say what?
Hmm. Interesting, interesting. You actually shared you actually answered. If I was to have any follow-up questions, you answered those as well.
Okay. Well, that's why I do what I do.
Yes, 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 yes. Um, and it's quite interesting because and I guess it's just my upbringing, my background. Because like I tell everybody, my family a little ratchet and a little ghetto. Um, and I try to keep that suppressed. However, it does surface and it will arise. It don't take much. I try to keep, keep Nick dormant, but people be provoking him at times. But I just feel like, no matter what type of relationship, whether it is a friendship, siblingship, familyship, romantic relationship, business relationship, you know, if we are entering into this relationship in whatever, whatever realm, platonic or romantic, whatever, um, I should be able to to have conversations with you without without it being taken the wrong way and vice versa. And I feel like,
Even when you have conversations out of anger and hurt.
yes. Now, I do believe there is a right way to communicate and a wrong way to communicate, you
Hmm.
know? And that's something I have to learn. Just because, I could be feeling some type of way, but I'm no matter how I feel, I should not come at you in a disrespectful way to get my point across. I should be able to just keep it real and be like, this is how I'm feeling and this is why. And I feel like there's a lot of people out there that don't know how to express themselves
Mm.
and that don't know how to communicate. And no matter communication is the root of everything, because if you can't communicate, you can't there really can be no exchange, whether it be
Hmm.
verbal, whether it be written, whether it be um like you walking down the street and somebody nod to you, nod back to, like, if you cannot communicate, you can't there is it's a block. And I feel like that's a skill that a lot of people need to learn, and just to be authentic and just to be genuine. And you know there's a lot of the reason why I asked that question is because there's a lot of people that really, I would say, they don't have any morals, they don't have any scruples, because at the end of the day, when you're presented with two opposing views, you can choose not to get involved. But when you choose to get involved, or when you have to get involved, whatever that looks like, you can't necessarily hop back and forth. Now you can say, okay, both of these are um on the extremes. And this and right here in the middle is the best, option or the best solution. But if you take this side, you can't jump back and say, well, I'm going to take this side, because then I feel like, and this is my personal opinion, I feel like if you flip flopping back and forth, I can't really trust you, because the moment will arise when you know you with me, you rocking with me, and then boom, all of a sudden something didn't happen, or somebody done got in your ear, whatever didn't happened, and you no longer rocking with me because you rocking with them. Or you are basically trying to play both sides. Like, I'm gonna be cool with you when I'm around you, but then if this other person comes into play, I'm act like I don't know you.
I think a person can have a balance. You know, I don't know why my phone is just going off. I believe people can have balance. There are roles that people play in your life, and I'm going to use a scenario.
Hmm.
Okay, um, there was once this woman that was married to this man, and the man's family wasn't so kind to the woman, and the woman always remembered that she was married into the family, and she never allowed his family to do certain things. But it wasn't up to her to keep them from doing certain things. It was up to him. And this will come full circle in a minute. But after going through life in a relationship, and this is an intimate relationship with this individual, the man was always beholden to his family. And so, fast forward um, 30 or 40 years later, it's driven such a wedge to where it becomes difficult to have conversations and communicate with um, one spouse to the other about matters of the heart when it comes to family and when it comes to situations.
Hmm.
So I said all that to say this: everybody has a role that they play in individuals' lives. It's Everybody's not always going to get along with everybody.
Hmm.
Um, this person may not like this person. This person may not like the energy of this person. That's fine. Nothing says in life that we have to like one another. What God charges us with is treating people the way that we want to be treated. Sometimes we fall off, sometimes other people fall off. Shit happens. But in my journey, because people tell me all the time, my mother has told me, you have told me, I have circles of friends who have told me that I'm too trusting. But I cannot just change who I am as a person, because at the same time where I've had people who have mistreated me and walked on me, I've also have had people who have treated me well. So I think you have to have a balance there with your friends, with your family, with your intimate partners. That there's a role you have to know the role that you play the role, and don't step out of that, because if you step out of it, you know that it's not safe. You know what I'm saying? So, in one part I agree with you, and another part I don't agree with you. There is an appropriate time to interact with different groups and different individuals. Now, where I do agree with you, I'm not the type of person that would pretend as if I didn't know you or didn't see you. I just had a conversation with a cousin this week about that, who walked past me 2 times this week and didn't say anything to me. Well, that person didn't say anything to me because they owe me money. But I got on the phone. I said, okay, enough of this. You know, we are going to undoubtedly run into each other, but we need to have a conversation. We need to fix this. And we're talking about this is like 6 or 7 years now that this has been going on. So sometimes you just have to back up and you have to have those hard conversations with individuals. A lot of times it could be a misunderstanding. It could be something that a person read wrong. But it's amazing how we deem ourselves as these great, wonderful educators, or people who are in the community, but we can't even communicate right outside of our front door. So you have to not be afraid to have the conversations. And one thing that we have to get out of the mindset of doing is judging. We do it. We spend a lot of time judging um, other individuals and not getting a chance to really know them. And I'm blessed to interact with all sorts of people. Um, Yellow, black, brown, white, green, pink, orange, gay, straight, bi, uh, LBGTQ, LMNOP, all of that.
And
And I don't
it's
discriminate. I don't discriminate. The only time I discriminate against you is when you come for me, or if you come for somebody in my family. I take that very, 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 very seriously. So having those hard conversations with the different people that you're in contact with, you have to set up boundaries. And there are certain things that are just basically off limits, and you have to communicate that. Once you communicate that, that person, if they do respect you, they will understand that we're not going to talk about certain things. We're not going to have certain conversations. Like I said, I don't really discuss politics or even religion with everybody. Can't even discuss the damn vaccine with everybody. Everybody's mature enough to have a decent conversation about it. But a lot of it is because the energy is off. But if you take the time and we get out of our own self, get out of the way of our own self, and begin to listen. That's one thing that we don't do as humans. We don't listen to one another. We will hear 2 or 3 words, and then by the time they get to the fourth word, we've already formed our opinion on what we think is going to be or how things are going to work out. We got to stop doing that, because if we don't listen, we're not going to know what really is going on with that individual. You know what I'm saying? So that's my spiel on that. I don't know if you
and
want to say more,
and
but
and I feel like, well, I'm going to ask you this question. So, what is the difference, in your opinion, between a white person saying they don't associate, or they don't a white person saying they don't like black people because black people are ghetto or dirty or whatever, some type of racist attribute? What's the difference between that and someone not wanting to interact with someone because they feel that, let's I'm trying to think of a scenario. Um they feel that that person is not trustworthy, or that person is just say not trustworthy, but they don't know the person.
the difference is, um, one deals with a person's inability to make a meaningful connection. That's the latter.
Hmm.
And when I say make a meaningful connection, everybody does not have the ability to be in tune. Let me back up. Everybody ain't a social worker. And what I mean by that is you have people that are are social worker. Mostly everybody is some type of social worker. And let me tell you what I mean by that. Especially here in Vegas, it's a service industry. So even if you're a cocktail waitress in a casino, you're somewhat of a social worker because there's a reason why that person is sitting there playing that table game and drinking and doing whatever. So you're charged with going in and providing the best customer service and making sure they have the best experience there while they're playing that game with libations and everything. It's no different for the work that you and I do. When people come into our door, we're charged with making sure that they get the services that they need for their mental health. Or when they walk into a doctor's office, they're the doctors are charged with making sure that they take care of the patients. Well, it's the same with friends. Remember, I told you there's givers and takers. You may have um, someone in your circle. I have many, but you may have someone in your circle who doesn't get along with somebody. Hell, there's people, for example, that you get along with that I don't get along with, and that I'm not even going to try to get along with. And but I formulated my opinion based off of my experience and me being misjudged. So until that person is able to um, show themselves friendly or change the tide, you leave a person where they are. You know what I'm saying? It's not, I don't really feel like it's so much as being judgmental. Somehow, somewhere, that person has rubbed you the wrong way. Hence, that person has rubbed me the wrong way. Um, the question is, how do you move from where you are to where you need to be in having a conversation with that individual? Sometimes it's very tough, and that's going to come down to your communication skills. One thing I have figured out, I'm not about to try to change anybody's opinion about me. If this is what you said, this is what you believe. And until you decide to get to know me, that's what you're going to believe anyway. Unless I go out of my way to show you different, which nobody should have to do that. Everybody needs to be authentic in the showing of how friendly they are. But you have to also understand there are certain people whose energy just does not match. Point blank, end of it. Simple as that.
You want to hear my answer?
Sure.
There's no difference because so with both scenarios, one person saying another person is untrustworthy when they don't know that person, and a white person saying that they don't associate with black people because they're ghetto and they're dirty when they really never associate with black people. There's no difference
But
because in both scenarios, there's prejudgment, which
um,
essentially makes the white man and the first person in the other scenario prejudiced.
I I tend to think that with the other the with the white person scenario, they've already showed their cards. If they've come out and said they've said that out of ignorance, whereas some people don't necessarily say it out of ignorance, they say it out of experience.
But in order, so, and okay, following that same line of thinking, in the latter scenario, if one individual says another individual is untrustworthy and they don't know that individual, that's out of ignorance, right? because they don't know that person. So how do you know that they're untrustworthy?
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. I see where you're going with it. Okay.
Now, I can understand if, you know, if person A had an interaction with person B, and from that interaction they formulated their opinion or conclusion. That makes sense because
Mm-hmm.
based off of that experience, this is what you gathered. But without any type of interaction, what the basically the information that you are saying or the opinions that you're forming, they are it's not based upon anything but assumptions.
Interesting you should say that because in sitting out with my barber yesterday, and when he was cutting my hair, every week we have a discussion about things in the community and stuff like that. Yesterday we were talking about the perception um, that is out there about me in the community. Not to say that it's negative. What was said was is that I'm a wild card. That I don't show I don't show the cards in my hand, and that um, I'm not loyal to anybody but myself. Now, that's ignorance because anybody who really knows me knows that I am probably one of the people who would advocate for someone on the street until that person on the street shows me something different. Um, I believe that every individual is an individual and that they are a free thinker. And to actually judge and then be judged, that's a lot because we spend a lifetime of judging other people, but we never ever. The old song says, "Sweep around your own front door before you try to sweep around mine."
Hey.
We got things that are going on with our own selves that because we feel a certain way, we take that to the streets and we want to hold people accountable for shit that's going on in our life. You can't do that. You can't do that. If you know that you got some struggles or some frustrations that you can't express because you're afraid that somebody might laugh at you or this, that, and the other, and you can't be your authentic self, that is not my problem. That is your problem.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't deal with that, that's on you. So, like I said, it's not what people tell you, it's what they don't tell you. When you're looking at a person and you already seeing that they're just basically a ratchet mess. And then what comes out of their mouth is a ratchet mess. You have to be a keen and savvy person to read between the minutia and know who you're dealing with. And when you know better, you react differently and you do better. That does not mean that you write those individuals off as friends. What that does is you have to do the work. You have to ask yourself, is it worth me investing my time, energy, and my patience in this person? And you have to find the value in people. That's one thing that we as African Americans don't do. We don't find the value in people. We're not going to value everything, but there should be some commonalities that you find the value in. And that's something that I had to learn. And I mean, and it's revealing itself to me more and more each day. Um, I've been granted a unique experience to touch a lot of different people and touch a lot of lives. Some experiences are good, some experiences are not good, but at the end of the day, it is an experience. So, and then through every experience, there's a learning process. So I kind of just try to operate in that mindset.
And it's funny that you say that because we should have a coming out party for all and invite where we host it and we invite all of the people that are,
What kind of
stuck in
coming out party?
all of the people that are stuck in the closet trying to conform themselves to fit other people's
Mhm.
expectations
Got you, got you, got you.
and just tell
But
them, come
but they
on,
don't. People
come
don't do that for
on
fear
out
of
the
judgment.
closet.
For fear of judgment, they clam up. They clam up. Put it this way: if everybody was their authentic self, there would not be any problems because people would know who they're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
Be be your authentic self. Don't be what other people want you to be. Don't be lose the facades. When you lose the facades, what they say, beyond the Maybelline. See beyond the Maybelline. When you look beyond the image that a person wants to project and you see them for their authentic selves of who they are and what they are, you honestly deal with them differently. You honestly deal with them differently. But you have the choice to deal with them or not to deal with them, or deal with them, through a long handle spoon.
I'll take not for 1,000, Alex.
But you can't spend a lifetime being that way though. You know that, Troy. You're a minister. And that, yeah, I'm going there. I'm going putting that on you. And I tell my dad this all the time because my dad, sometimes as a minister and a man of God, he can be very judgmental. And the Bible talks about, no one can judge, no individual can judge another individual. Only God has the final say on who judges and what goes. And it's even possible that men of the cloth can lose themselves in themselves because
I
it's not
get
what
that.
you want.
I get that. But and at least from what I'm like my vantage point, what I'm my mindset is not judging anybody
Hmm.
because I've had to learn that I will always prioritize myself. Now, that doesn't mean I don't care about other people. That doesn't mean I'm not going to help other people. But if if I sacrifice myself for somebody else, I can't be good to anybody else because I'm not pouring in and and really basically like maintaining my level so that I can still be and do for other people.
Hmm.
And so for me, you know, everybody I will not deal with. And that's no slight or no disrespect to them. Now, if you need something and I can help you, cool. But that'll be the extent of that. Now, as far as me, going above and beyond like I'll do for other people, I'm not gonna do that for everybody. And so, I believe in self-preservation.
Yeah, but here's the deal about self-preservation. if if what you're preserving is crap, what are you preserving? If what you're putting out into the atmosphere is bad, what are you preserving?
Who says I was putting anything bad in the
No, 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 no,
atmosphere?
no. That's totally rhetorical. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you
So
you said self-preservation is very important. But what I'm saying is a lot of people use that loosely. Self-preservation, self-preservation, but if what you're putting out is crap, what are you preserving?
yeah, I agree with that on that side of the spectrum. I'm talking about the other side of the spectrum. When for example, you have a pastor, and a pastor is responsible for shepherding the herd, and so they have to they have to maintain a certain level of self care because if
Mm.
they don't, they won't be able to give to anybody. It's like
True.
it's
Or
like
serve.
it's like you take this glass. If I'm study pouring into different people's glasses and I'm not refilling, I have nothing left to give.
Hmm. Interesting. Interesting. Well, um, I think we're gonna have to continue this conversation because it's a good one. It's a good one. It's a good one. Unfortunately, we are coming to the end and running out of time, but we got some house cleaning issues. If you are interested in becoming a sponsor of the Antidote or would like to appear on our show, or if you have a show idea, please email us at the Antidote Hot 702.5 at gmail.com, or call us at 702-956-4435. Donations to the Antidote to help support us can be made on Cash App to $LV Antidote, Antidote. Um, I don't have a weekly antidote, so I'm going to just kind of speak off the riff. At the beginning of the show, I talked about us being good to each other and being good to ourselves. Let's make a conscious effort in this new year and this new week that we have in front of us to extend ourselves a little bit more to our mankind. Seek understanding where there is no understanding. Seek resolve where there may not be any resolution. But all in all, remember that it takes all of us on this earth that God has created and granted us life on to make it up. As always, be good to yourselves and to each other. Be safe out there. Don't forget to wash your hands. You have been in tune with the Antidote. We'll see you next time, same place, same station. Be blessed.